My name is Stephanie Waddell. I am an accounting specialist at GreenState Credit Union. Accounting specialist is really someone that is kind of a leader that can help our processors anytime that they have questions with anything that they're doing. So processing accounts payable, our incoming outgoing wires. We handle dealing with fixing offages on the front line, whether it be for a cash recycling machine or when they're doing their transactions between their vault and their tellers or between branches. It's all internal calls that we get, so it's just assisting all of those people with those different questions. So it's pulling up images and doing all those different things. We're more bookkeepers than we are accountants. So our finance team is who really does the more true accounting side of it. We do rotations, and so there's an accounts payable rotation, and then there is an institutional balancing rotation. So on the institutional balancing rotation side, we are actually going through and taking care of balancing all general ledgers, whether it be for someone that is doing a transfer from one member's account to another. We take care of fixing anything with our official checks. We go through and do wires to fund an account that we have that flows through all of our checks. We also work on incoming, outgoing wires. We work with paying all of the bills for GreenState Credit Union. So we deal a lot with our facilities department to make sure that things are getting approved over a certain level. We have the frontline staff have cash recyclers, and so it's just needing to balance those, making sure they're sitting in good standings for them. We also have that we're doing tons of general ledger postings, and that's just a posting for today to balance for things for the following day as well. For this role, it's really needing just a 2-year degree and having that experience. And so it's not necessary to have to go to school for 4 years. I actually went to Kirkwood. I actually did my 2-year degree in 3 years just because I was also working and trying to make a living. And so, yeah, I graduated in 2007. I worked for a property management company for a little over 9 years until I came here. And that property management company was great for me because I was able to get hands-on experience with QuickBooks and Excel and really understanding a lot more of the customer relationship building that you can get with it. I actually worked here for a little over 5 years. I started as a teller on the front line, worked there for a year, and then came up to the accounting department as a processor. Worked in that position for about a year and a half, and now I've been a specialist for the rest of that time. We do actually shifts, so there's 2 of us that'll work 9 to 6 twice a week, and then the rest of them are 8 to 5. And those 9 to 6 shifts are for our late ACH processes, because we have one that goes between 5 and 6. And then we do incoming and outgoing wires between 5 and 5:45. And then we also have our check transmission, so that's just ensuring that all of our checks are balanced for all of our branches and departments. We have a total of 10 people in our department, and we actually have 4 of us solidly in the office, and then the rest are work from home and kind of fluctuate in and out depending on trainings and meetings and such like that. And then we have our manager who is in an office setting, but we have a lot of phone calls that'll come in that we deal with for in that area. Accounting-wise, there's always plenty of positions out there. I know when I was looking, it just kind of depends on what kind of atmosphere you're looking for. If it's more in a financial setting or working for a property management company was actually where I worked outside of college. And so there's definitely lots of different opportunities. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do at all until my senior year. I had some electives that I needed to fill, so I was like, let's just try accounting because I love math. And I fell in love. So honestly, it's just as long as you know that you're good with numbers, that's really all you really need to do, because there's so many different opportunities that you can go into with accounting, payroll, taxes, just being someone's personal, accountant and paying their bills and accepting money for whether it be condo dues or anything like that. So I love it because it's something that you can still help people. Challenges, I would say, is that you definitely need to make sure that you are able to change things on the fly, because there's always things that can come up, whether it be, for a perfect example, today we had 2 people call into our department, so it was just talking to each other and figuring out how can we juggle things around to make it so that everything still gets done in a day, and really just needing to be a team player. Being open to that change is the biggest struggle. I would say a cashiering job would definitely be a great start, because then you get that cash handling experience. I actually worked as a cashier at Fairway for several years, but it was a great key for me to get going into working on that communication, working with money, and being able to understand, what needs to be coming in and going out. And then actually I worked in their office department as well, and so I balanced all of their drawers at the end of the night and then built them for the next day. So any type of experience with that I think would be great. As well as any type of job shadowing that they can do if they know anybody that does anything with what they're interested in. Microsoft, different products are definitely what we use a lot. So a lot of Excel. The Microsoft Teams has come into a big play with us this past couple of years, that we can share and create a group there and put shared files and stuff in there. We also deal with the Federal Reserve, so having a token that you get from them, so you can't go onto their site unless you have that secured key. So we have that program. We deal with our Epicus Core program, is where we have all of our things for our members and everything. We have a check scanner, so every time that anybody's taking in checks, they scan those in at their desk, and then it gets into our program where we just make sure it's balanced. We also have phones that we're dealing with all the time. We have a rotation on that as well. We have 10-key calculators, if we want to be able to use those as well. A lot of people are getting to the point of just putting it into an Excel spreadsheet and making sure it balances that way too. So you've heard about my future and everything that I've done to get there, and I just want to make sure that you guys know that there are things out there for you. Whether you know it yourself or not, just ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, and someone will guide you in the right direction.